SN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome, and you are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. The date is January 13th, 2016, and it's time for another Triple Lutz report. This is episode 394. I've been doing these for 4 years now. Just sent out a newsletter that I think bears some emphasis. We are all living in the Powerball economy. So happy 2016, by the way. And of course, there are many challenges ahead for the coming year. There's also opportunities. Wish you the best. We've entered a new phase of the crisis. It's the Powerball economy. And as you know, there's been a massive loss of faith in the country, the world economic system, and of course, the ruling class. And if you don't believe it, witness the rise of Trump and all of these extreme conservative and liberal parties throughout Europe, around the world, who are fighting for control. And none of them really have solutions, but it's definitely happening. Citizens around the globe understand that they've been lied to, deceived, manipulated, and that the situation in the world is far worse than they ever thought possible. And, you know, as bad as things may be, and as desperate as you may find yourself, you still hold out that one last hope for a better tomorrow, whether it be Trump or Bernie Sanders or hitting the Powerball jackpot, doesn't matter. The underlying motivation is the same. You hope against all hope that by pulling the lever for Trump or Sanders or buying that Powerball ticket, you will come up the winner and magically things, at least for you, will get better. And if only it were that simple. As I've said on the show before, I met the Donald many years ago, handling a couple of very minor legal matters for him. Me and my partner hung out in his office with him for a couple of hours on a couple of different occasions. And it was really a charge. I mean, it was total fun. He's funny. He's got a great sense of humor. He's irreverent. Definitely not PC. Extremely, extremely intelligent and a great reader of people, which is something that they never talk about when someone's running for office. But being a good reader of people really is an incredible plus in your dealings with people and in your ability to get things done. But can he really make America great again? I certainly hope so, but I have my doubts. And then there's Bernie Sanders. If you're in the progressive bent, he's promising to tax us all to prosperity. It sounds like a tried and true plan for failure. Bernie is interesting. He's like Lizzie Warren. He understands that the financial system, and by extension the government, is the problem, but his solutions are all washed up. He just wants socialism and more government to solve problems created by the government. And then, of course, finally, there's Powerball. This week's jackpot is $1.5 billion. That's billion with a B dollars. And boy, could that make a change in your living standard. Pay off the mortgage, send the kids to Yale and Harvard, and off to the south of France for a much-needed 3-month vacation. I mean, who wouldn't love that? However, the reality, and that's what we deal with, is far different. You have virtually no chance of winning, 1 in several hundred million. And if you do and elect the annuity payout, you'll receive $50 million per year for the next 30 years, less Uncle Sam's 25% cut. And of course, state and local taxes on top of that. Assuming you live in a state with an income tax, there's only 9 that don't have it. And there's various cities like the socialist utopia of New York City also have an income tax on top of that. So you receive around $900 million in a lump sum, less 25% tax payment. And by any standard, that is a lot of money. But again, all that glitters is not gold. It is financed on the backs of the poor who buy most of the tickets. And fine, it's their decision. I don't have a problem with letting anybody make their own mistakes. But the key here is the government, whether it's the states, actually it is the states here, has a monopoly on lotteries. if anyone was allowed to go out and start a lottery with adequate financial protections that the winners would get paid and the state competed on a level playing field, great. But what they've done is granted themselves a monopoly. And as a result, the state retains a 30% cut of the take before the tax gouge. And this is far higher than any bookie or casino's drop, as they call it. And go try to start your own lottery, you will wind up in jail. And do I think lottery's healthy? Gambling's healthy in general? No. A little bit of moderation, occasional play, fine. But look, hope is a funny thing, and reason seldom ever interferes with it until reality strikes, which it always does. So welcome to 2016. It's time to take the blinders off and get real. So I've talked about stem cells before, and we're in challenging times, but everything isn't dark and bleak. A better living through stem cells, it's close by. Technology marches on, so does the promise of a healthier, longer, and hopefully happier life. What I'd like to call it is healthy aging. And very shortly, we'll be releasing our new show, The Truth About Stem Cells. And I recently had the honor of meeting Dr. Sharon McQuillan, an accomplished physician in South Florida with over 30 years of family practice experience. For the past 10 years, she's been at the exciting forefront of adult stem cell research. And when I met her, I immediately decided that I was going to do a show about this promising treatment. And I urged the doctor to join me in the endeavor. It took a lot of time. She's an extremely busy person, as you might imagine. She is on a mission. But finally, she acquiesced. And I confess I had a selfish motivation for doing so. For the past 18 months, I've been suffering from chronic tendonitis in my shoulders, as well as an old neck injury that I got from a ski injury, from a ski accident, damaged some ligaments in my neck. And I was desperately seeking a minimally invasive, non-surgical solution. And hopefully I've found it here. And while there are many misconceptions about what stem cell therapy really is, simply stated, fat cells or bone marrow are removed from the patient's body in a very minor, can't say non-invasive, but minimally invasive manner. Then the stem cells are separated from either the fat cells, it's called adipose, that's a new word for you, or from the marrow. And once they're extracted, they are then implanted into the affected area, or they're applied intravenously, and that depends upon what it is you're suffering from. And often you just see incredible results. People who've been in wheelchairs, walking again, all sorts of things like that. So a very short list of diseases and ailments that can potentially be treated with them. I think it'll help you grasp the magnitude. We're looking at arthritis, tens of millions of people suffering, COPD, something like emphysema, no effective treatment for it other than some type of inhalation therapy and steroids and some other medication, but nothing really works. Type 2 diabetes, rotator cuff issues, knee problems, back pain, ligament and tendon injuries, hip problems that could require replacement, and autoimmune diseases. The list goes on and on. Problem is that few people are aware of the potential benefits. And the procedure, minimally invasive, patients suffer very little discomfiture. The risks are extremely limited because think about it, you're simply receiving cells back that you donated. It's called autologous. It's as if you donated blood for the event when you needed a transfusion. Blood was stored, and then when you needed the transfusion, you got your own blood back. Assuming it wasn't contaminated, you're not going to have an autoimmune response or rejection issues with your body's own byproducts, cells. And the potential cost savings here are just immense. A stem cell treatment can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $12,000, but I reckon that price will come way down as it becomes more spread. And that is a fraction of the cost of knee, back, or hip surgery. You could be talking over $100,000. And then there's the downtime. You go in, you have to, at least for a knee surgery, you're going to be in there outpatient for the day. And then the recovery period, physical therapy, you could be talking months and tens of thousands of dollars there as well. Well, with stem cell therapy, there's no downtime, no recovery period required. It may or may not work, but it could very well be worth a try and save you a fortune, save the insurance companies a fortune, and get you back on your feet again. So stay tuned for the show. It will be out shortly. In the meantime, if you or anyone you know suffers from some of the above issues, take a look at Dr. McQuillan's site. The site is drsharonmcquillan.com. DrSharonMcQuillan.com, drsharonmcquillan.com, and you'll be amazed at how quickly this treatment is advancing. I believe it's going to be the first line treatment for so many things that are attempted to be treated surgically now. So go over to drsharonmcquillan.com, take a look, and maybe it's right for you. At least think about it. So 2016 looks like the year where the much awaited Financial Survival Network really is coming to fruition. Right now, we've got 4 shows. I'm hoping to have 10 by the end of the year. So we've got, of course, FSN, financialsurvivalnetwork.com, which you're listening to me on right now. We've got Instant Equity, the real estate investing broadcast. We've got Identity Theft Warriors to help you avoid becoming a victim of identity theft. And then we've got coming up, The Truth About Stem Cells, really important one that you don't want to miss, which I just talked about. And Dollar Collapse, the podcast that John Rubino is doing once per week now. So many of you are listening to it. It's amazing. Tens of thousands of downloads per show. He's really popular. He might outdraw me, which I'd be only too happy to see. So if you want to see that one, you can either look at the site, financialsurvivalnetwork.com, or go over to John's site, dollarcollapse.com, and you'll see the link right there. So the network is evolving. And if you've got some ideas for some shows, people you'd like me to do them with, or have them do them themselves, because I don't need to necessarily be center stage here. I'm fine just letting somebody else do it. No problem with that. Just let me know. So check out John's site, dollarcollapse.com, for that one. So here's an interesting story that I know you're probably thinking about, but basically it was in the Express, a British paper, and headline: Europe on the brink of financial meltdown as Germany faces economic ruin. And basically they're saying that Germany, which has always been the financial powerhouse of Europe, is just having a world of trouble. Economic problems in Germany. Industrial production has slipped to 0%. Customer confidence has plunged. And thank you, Angela Merkel, although who knows what would have happened. Fall in Germany's prosperity could drag the Eurozone down, you think? They're also the biggest consumer. It's the biggest economy in Europe, where a large portion of the bloc's wealth is created. And Germany's money has helped the Eurozone struggle ahead, despite the ailing finances of Italy, Spain, Greece, and so many others. But if the German economy crumbles, it could start a domino effect that will pull down other countries' economies with it, and I would say the world economy as well. So Britain will take a hit, everybody. China is one of Germany's biggest markets, and demand obviously is falling in China. And France is one of Germany's closest trading partners, and its economy is struggling, further hurting Germany. And Germany's an export-driven economy. I guess the U.S. is still buying German cars, but this thing is a major, major problem. And if their economic output, their industrial output, really starts to drop dramatically, it's going to be a major problem. They've also been big on domestic consumption as well. But over the past year, consumer confidence falling, and it's going to go down as well. And then you've got the refugee crisis there, whatever you want to call them, the invasion force that's storming the continent. And hey, they're going to have negative growth. World's already in a recession. Normally, there's that cycle group that 2 years later they say, oh, by the way, for the past 2 years, we've been in a recession. And then a year after it ends, they say, oh, we got out of that recession a year ago, so don't worry about it. Kind of ridiculous, but this is the type of thing that you can look forward to. But certainly Europe is in a really bad state, and who knows what's going to happen with them. The system's got to be purged. There's no other way. It must be purged, or it will collapse. The longer you stop it from purging, the longer it takes to heal. So, State of the Union address last night. I never watch it. I don't know what the last however many presidents have ever said. It's a bunch of lies, platitudes, and feel-good expressions. Of course, there is nothing good in the world, really. I mean, there are good things happening. Let's face it. Technology, stories, human kindness to one another. But from a governmental standpoint, what good things are happening? Really, I can't think of any. So, hey, sometimes things got to get worse before they get better. You don't know how long they're going to stay bad, but they will. Anyway, just keep your chin up. Invest in yourself. Invest in your health. Invest in your knowledge. Human capital, your own human capital, is what will help you get out of this mess. And go over to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Check out the Facebook group, FSN-Connect. Okay, a lot of people joined recently. I'm posting regularly to it. The Twitter is @Kerry Lutz. And join the Twitter feed. Got over 10,000 people on there now. And hey, don't forget to check out the YouTube channel. Still post a few episodes up there. And make sure you listen to all the episodes. Sign up for the newsletter so you'll get it. And anyway, hey, thanks for listening. Then another Triple Lutz report. This is Kerry Lutz signing off.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.